Brief bio on me. My name's Spencer Paxson. I'm from the state of Washington. I currently live in Seattle. I ride for Kona Bikes. This is my second year riding for Kona, but technically my first year riding cyclocross for Kona. So I'm going for Rookie of the Year.
Nice.
This is my first full cyclocross season. My main endeavor on the bike has been on the mountain bike of the cross-country variety. So cross has always been something I've done by virtue of growing up near Portland and coming up under the wing of Eric Tonkin, and I've known Barry and Eric and kind of the Kona crew for a long time.
So what made you decide this year was going to be Rookie of the Year?
Well, I mean, I've been with Kona unofficially for probably 4 years at this point. But now that I'm riding for them and they're supporting me more, cross is a big part of being a Kona rider, and and I think a big part of being an off-road, calling yourself an off-road cyclist. If you're going to be in the elite ranks, you got to try and do both.
Okay.
At least I think so. And it's fun. The cross is awesome. So, yeah.
So what are some of your mountain bike hallmarks for?
The mountain bike? Let's see. Most recently, this season, I made it onto the long team for the Olympics. So I was one of the 8 guys. And in the grand scheme of things, I guess you could say I was close to going to London. But for those that know how hard it actually is, I was pretty far from making it, but it was really, really cool to pursue the World Cup and kind of wake up in the morning and think my goal is to train for the Olympics. Something I'd never really internalized before, so that was cool.
Okay, so how do you shift gears and just go from mountain bike right into cross? Did you have a break?
I had a break. I took after, I guess, July, after nationals, mountain bike nationals for cross country, I took a break and rode my downhill bike a lot. Went up to I live close to Whistler.
Okay.
So that's always a good place to recharge. Yeah, and just kind of keep things fun. And I had been looking forward to cross anyway, so plus it's fun riding with the Kona guys anyway. It's easy to recharge when you're with good people.
Yeah. So tell me about the cross season so far. You were at the Cincy 3 last week.
Cincy 3, yep. That was my first time in Ohio.
How
cool.
was it?
It was awesome. It's a cool weekend. I've never done 3 cross races in a row. Got my first UCI points for cross, which I desperately needed.
Yeah.
I've been starting back row in all these races, so it's a little... I'm used to that from the mountain bike World Cup. I go over to Europe, and I'm a little guy, and I start 150th and try to stay on the lead lap. So, yeah, Friday and Saturday went well. I got sick on Sunday, and I totally sucked on Sunday. But I'm looking forward to this weekend.
So did you guys drive straight down here after?
Yeah, we came down on Monday after. We had a really great homestay there. And
okay. So have you been out riding the course since you got here? Or?
Just today. I was out with Helen and Barry, and we did a few laps, checked out the sand and the grass.
How do you feel about it?
It's an aerobic course. It's going to be dry, so it's wide open, and it's an interesting mix of full-out flat grass sections and kind of some tricky off-camber tight turns.
Yeah.
Punchy little climbs.
Feeling confident? Any goals?
Always feel confident. No. I'd like to be top 10 this weekend.
Okay.
It'll be hard. It's not to mention that it's a deep field, and we're solidly into the cross season. All the heavy hitters will be here, but coming from the back too always makes it a little harder. But Adam Craig's good at it, and we'll try and keep up with him. He's probably starting closer to the front now.
A little bit after last week at Cycle Smart. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. right. So then I met you because I wrote about you in my Bangable Dudes and Pro Cycling
True.
column, and you didn't see it for a solid like 2 months.
I had no idea about it.
So who showed it to you, and what was your?
Somebody told me about it back at the Wisconsin Pro XCT, like after it'd been up, I think, for a couple months. I didn't even know it existed. Somebody was like, "You were on this list," and so I mentioned it to a few friends, and of course, I was totally flattered.
And now it's
And
all
now-
your little team is talking
And
about
now,
them.
yeah, it comes up as one of the
That's
trivia
your
items,
highlight?
and that's so. Back to my palmares for mountain bike, you could say what's my biggest accomplishment of the season? Probably making that list would be the biggest one.
Yep, and I can now say I've interviewed 2/3 of the guys that I mentioned on there. So. Woo.
All right.
All right. What's a little known fact about you that most people wouldn't know?
A little known fact. Man. You got to think of an interesting one, right?
Pretty much.
I work a full-time job outside of cycling.
Really? What do you do?
I am I'm a project manager of sorts for a wind and solar energy company. I help with I assist with developing we develop the big wind projects and the big solar farms, and so
Okay. How do they feel about you jaunting off on all of these adventures?
They're really cool about it. I've been with them for 4 years.
Okay.
It's what brought me to Seattle.
Okay.
And I've been in Seattle for 4 years. So the company's it's small, and so I'd kind of worked my way into a flexible position, and the day of the office is becoming more obsolete. So I telecommute a lot.
Okay.
So I've been working all week here.
Right.
From the house we're staying in, and
does that get difficult when you're with people that just race bikes and you're going off to work?
Not really, unless we want to coordinate training rides together. But I don't know, it works. It gets hard sometimes, but I'm one of those guys. I realized I function best with a balance, and so far it's been working great.
Nice.
Nice.
All right, let's see if we have any other questions. They're very important. Where would you like to see cyclocross go? As a mountain biker that tried to make the Olympic team, would you like to see cyclocross become an Olympic sport, or do you think it really needs to be yet?
Needs to be where it's at now.
Like, do you think it should be an Olympic sport, or do you think it needs more development, or it needs to switch a little bit, or?
That's a good question, and yeah, I guess I haven't. I've been mountain biking for a long time, but I don't know if I could even say with perspective what the Olympics has done for cross-country mountain biking since it started in 1996, and I've been in the sport since it was in the Olympics, so I've never seen the change that occurs, but in a way I think it's good because it draws more attention to the sport. But if you think about it, I think cross, isn't it the fastest growing sport cycling discipline in the country? And there's the argument for bolstering the grassroots side of things and then the more elite side of things, and the chicken and egg question of what makes it grow more. Is it so I don't know.
Bring more money.
And and money is arguably not the best thing. It's good for having cycling as your job and sponsors to pay for stuff, but it can skew priorities and whatnot. So I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm an authority to be able to say anything for sure, but if it was in the Olympics, I wonder if it would be a winter or summer.
Yeah, that's
tricky.
that's the tough
We need a
question.
fall Olympics, an autumn Olympics.